All right. Test, test, test. How you guys doing? 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Make sure the audio is all good before we get going, as normal. Hope you guys are doing well. A crazy, crazy, crazy week, but it's been a good week. And for me, it's weekend. I'm off tomorrow and the whole weekend, so. Anywho. Texting out Twitter, going live. Loud and clear. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, dude. That didn't work. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Streak Dude, Rainbow Runner, Rainbow Trends. Doing our weekly Whale Watch. Very excited for this one. We have some very big announcements. Got a pretty good slide deck today. Stuff I wanted to cover. But let me make sure I got the link going right, and then I'll kick off the Twitter stream as well, just for S and Grands. Let me get this link out real quick. Twitter's not letting me post this, so that's not working. Discard that. Let me try and get going. How are you guys doing? Been a weird week as far as crypto goes. Some of the new stuff I'm covering, I never thought I'd be covering, so we'll get there. See you there. All right, post. All right, now I'll fire up Twitter. Anyway, this stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Even if you were to mistake this for financial advice, this is clearly an art show and really, really bad financial advice. So anyway, big disclaimer up front. If you're curious why the charts look like they do, I'm using a bunch of the Rainbow Trends tools, obviously, on the site. And if you're interested in finding out more information, definitely go check out the website. That's where we also have our Discord link at the very top. So it's got like one of the best Discords I've ever seen. So shout out to all the dudes who've been absolutely killing it there and dropping alpha left and right. But I wanted to start out with something I didn't think I would ever see. What's up, Hot Pins? The Hulk. We'll get to the Hulk this shortly. This happened, and there's a lot of things that happen in my life that makes me reconsider: is life a simulation? And this one made me picture in a picture. No, this one made me think that. So check this out.
Cordana, Cosmos, Immutable. Okay, now Polkadot, Cordana, Cosmos, Immutable, Ronin, Bonk, Osmosis, Sushi Swap, My Neighbor Alice have all traded millions. I'm talking about millions of dollars this very morning. Now, should we have a Sushi Swap, maybe an ETF, or the proprietary kind? Just like, I would think that Bonk is a natural, and Osmosis, these are trading Gary, these are millions of dollars. These things are traded. Shouldn't we have it? Shouldn't we have some sort of product?
Let me say something more broadly about the crypto markets. Right now, without prejudging anyone, these tokens, whether they're the ones Jim listed or other tokens, have not given you the disclosures that you not only need to make your investment decisions, but also that are required by the law. It's a basic concept in our securities market. We, the SEC, tomorrow are turning 90. Happy birthday, SEC, 90. And what President Roosevelt did is he created this commission to oversee that you, the investors, get disclosure. And in the crypto markets, they aren't giving you that disclosure. And secondly, that exchanges, like here, this floor of the New York Stock Exchange, get properly regulated to protect against fraud and manipulation, and they don't trade against you. And these crypto exchanges, Jim, are doing things we would never allow this New York Stock Exchange to do. Our laws don't allow you to trade against your customers. And so okay.
Yeah, that happened. Gary Gensler literally talking Polkadot with Kramer on live television. It's not something I was expecting, and I go in and log into the Discord, see people rambling about this, and I literally see this being posted as this is the new Gary Gensler going to be taken seriously with the SEC. So that's rad. So moving on. To some very, very big news. Been working on something for quite a while. I'm very excited to post it, and if you can kind of guess where this is going, I went ahead and I wrote up an announcement, and I'm going to post it in the Discord, but I figured I'd go ahead and read it and cover it in the stream. So I'll go ahead and read it now. We've seen a lot of exchanges come and go, but my stance has always been the same. Stick with a reputable exchange you can take to court in the country you reside in. No matter how much due diligence you do, there's always a risk with exchanges being hacked, shut down, or collapsing due to internal fraud. If that happens with an exchange outside your country, recovering anything is nearly impossible. Since getting into crypto in 2017, I've always favored 3 exchanges: Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance. While Binance used to be my go-to back in the day, they failed to navigate the legal landscapes of the United States. I've always been a big fan of Coinbase and admire their contributions to the industry, but Kraken has always had a kind of a vibe that resonates with me. And in 2024, Kraken has become my preferred exchange in every aspect, not just the vibes. In the past, Kraken was far from my favorite exchange. I constantly battled with their user interface, their API callouts, and lack of liquidity. But over the past 2 years, though, they've evolved into a monster that lives up to their name. Kraken Pro is fast, user-friendly, reliable, and has high liquidity with fees around 50% cheaper than the other North American exchanges. You know my history and that I refuse 99% of the offers and promotions that hit my inbox. I only support brands that I love, where I love their teams and their vibes. Kraken didn't reach out to me. I actually reached out to them on this one, and they're actually one of the few teams that I love, and their exchange aligns with me on multiple levels. I've seen too many friends lose fortunes to leverage and fraudulent exchanges going under, so I'm choosing to support one of the few North American exchanges that's still standing. With that in mind, I'm excited to announce that the Rainbow Trends is now an affiliate of Kraken. If you sign up through the Rainbow Trends affiliate program, 20% of your trading fees will support Rainbow Trends. This helps maintain the Discord server, YouTube channel, tool, bot development, and other dog shelter donations. So very, very excited. I've been working on this for quite a while. And if you guys know me, like, I called out FTX for years. They finally went under. A lot of people got hurt. I'm really, really not happy with that. I really, really like Binance. Really like Binance and CZ, frankly, but they're not really available in the United States anymore for the most part. Nearly 100% gone. So what we've got left is Coinbase and Kraken. And like I said, I get hit up all the freaking time to be an associate or whatever with exchanges, be an affiliate. It's not the case with this one. I reached out to them, and it's not that someone reached out to me and offered me whatever. I legit use these guys a lot. The biggest thing that really started getting me was the fees started stacking up with other exchanges. And Kraken's fees, if you look at their fee tier schedule, they're about 50% less than Coinbase. And then something I noticed kind of towards the end of last year, their liquidity actually greatly improved. And then their like actual like GUI on their website was really killing. They were really killing it and making it way better. Back in like 2017, I could not stand their interface to their website. So I'm really a big believer in what they got. I'm a big believer in Jesse Powell. They've fought like hell against the SEC. They're still standing. So today I'm announcing it. It's official. We're live. So if you're wanting to be a supporter in a kind of a passive way to like the Rainbow Chin stuff, like the amount of money I've spent on a Discord server, I'm still scared to tell my wife. Those bots and stuff I paid out of pocket, but glad you guys use them. So stuff like this is a passive way. Long story short, whenever you do a trade on the exchange, you get marked a certain fee, whether that's a market buy or a limit sell, whatever. You're going to get charged a fee that normally 100% goes to the exchange. So if you go through our affiliate program, a part of the fees that you would already pay would go to Rainbow Trades instead. So give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Kids just came in. They're doing bedtime stories. Sorry about that. That was not planned. But anyway, let me grab the link real quick and I'll post it. So anyway, yeah, super excited about that. It's I don't know, just kind of something that I felt right, because there's a lot of people that use overseas exchanges, and truth be told, if posting it in the chat now, if you get caught overseas with some discretion, like even if everything's like on the up and up, but they decide to lock you out of your account and you've got like 6 figures in there, like, who are you gonna call? Can't really take them to court. They're out of the country. Like, it's not gonna go well. There's a lot of overseas exchanges that are really cool. Not gonna lie, like, I really dig Binance, but like, I'm not gonna put my funds overseas. That's just how it is, especially like stuff where people like set up VPNs. I'm not exposing myself to that type of a pullback. So anyway, that's our link in the chat. If you guys want to use it, by all means, much appreciated. Also, their colors kind of align with us, so that's cool. But like, legit, like, I know there's people that get paid to shill stuff. Like I said, I reached out to them. They didn't reach out to me, and I had to go through a bunch of stuff. And I actually got denied initially, and I had to appeal it and talk to them and be like, hey, like, your guy Jesse Powell literally follows me. So maybe we could talk about this. We ended up getting it approved. So, and I'll be honest, like, I hate paying fees. Their fee structure's way better. And actually during the say run that we did in the Q4 of 2023, it was actually cheap, or the liquidity was actually worse on Coinbase. So go figure. You would think it'd be the other way around. But speaking of Coinbase, speaking of that, please share the link, use it, get somebody to sign up, and we actually see how I'm kind of curious how the backend works, because there's a bunch of stats they've got set up for the affiliate stuff. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, like I said, like, I spent a lot of Ethereum getting some of the bot stuff set up on the Discord, and that was a market bottom. So I'm very, I hate thinking about that. But either way, hope you guys dig it, enjoy it, support a good dude still standing and fighting Gensler, who's making a fool of himself on live TV. But with that being said, Kraken is said to be in talks with a pre-IPO fundraising round. So Kraken clearly still fighting like mad. And yesterday or the day before, I ran out of time, but I was going to announce it in the Discord that the Kraken affiliate is live. And out of nowhere, Kraken came out and dropped Bowden and Trimp tickers, and I couldn't believe it. And one of the funny things I posted, I had to share. I didn't post it, but I retweeted, or I popped it up in the Discord. I wish I kept it because I didn't bring it up for the stream. There's a new word now. So we've got like crypto, we've got DeFi. Apparently, there's a new class of crypto called PolyFi, which is based on the upcoming election, which I didn't know. And it is what it is. And I learned a new word this week. But Bowden, you know, our guy Dime, he's a very, very outspoken Bowden supporter. It didn't really react too well to the Kraken listing. And this just still blows my mind that I can type in Bowden USD and it shows up on Kraken. It actually, when the books turned on initially, they don't even show the data now, but originally it like started off at like $1 and it froze when they were initially launching it. And I was screaming at Dime, like, Dime, you've got to sell. It's so high right now. But luckily they got everything going. It's kind of hard to get books to come online, and they got all that going on. So shout out to them, because if regulatory is going to get weird, you might as well start launching tokens based off the people that are running for election. It's going to get weird anyway. You might as well have fun with it, right? So anyway, I thought that was really interesting, because I can tell you this. I never thought, and I'll put it this way. We had the discussion with Pix in the Discord. It's like, hey, is this normal? And I was like, no, this is not normal for them. And I was like, I bet it's just the European Kraken exchange. And I look it up on my phone, and it's like there. And I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. And yeah, so we've got this. I'm sure there's going to be some Wells notices served or something like that, how this is clearly a security. But I don't care. Either way, I found myself a Kraken vibe photo, surfboard in the back, even though I can't surf very well. But shout out Vital, and a bottle of Kraken rum. I actually do Kraken rum. So, anywho, moving on though, since we do have hot pins in the house. Very, very big news. Hulk Hogan apparently launched a token. So the celebrity token stuff can't stop, won't stop. And then apparently it was a pump and dump scam. Whether or not his account was hacked, I've heard accusations of that. I really don't know. But apparently a Hulk token launched. So, you know, we talk about bullish things. I'm not really bullish on celebrity tokens launching, but there it is. But since we're talking Hulk, we've got to talk Mr. T and me. So you guys know my T interview. It's all up on YouTube now. Go watch it. The dude's super hilarious, but also really, really super smart. This dude cracks me up all the time. And this was one of the funniest things he posted this week, is telling everybody in the Discord, stop everything that you're doing. Ansem is giving us his 998,000th take on why meme coins are important. It is a must read. So I think the Ansem arc's getting kind of weird, and always love T's banner. So shout out T. But moving on, if you don't know, Roaring Kitty has come back and royally pissed off a lot of the regulatory people by taking an ungodly sized option trade on GameStop. And as of today, I think he was up 200 million. Yeah, Roaring Kitty has updated his thing. Hold on one second. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Nope. Fix that. We're good. Okay, so Roaring Kitty has apparently announced that his position is now well north of $586 million, a 220% gain. I saw some posts today that Pelosi was actually like exposed like 7 million deep into this as well. I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but it's still kind of crazy to think about. But the dude's crazy deep into GameStop right now, and it's upsetting a lot of people. SEC's wanting to get involved and do an investigation, but frankly, he went long and then he announced his position. I don't think that's legal, but not that this is financial advice. And he also posted that he's going to be streaming tomorrow. So in 14 hours, at 11 a.m., he's going to be streaming. And if you can tell, there's a lot of people interested in this. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So God knows what he's going to say, what he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to piss off regulators. If you didn't know, though, some people were doing some of the math, and this is blowing out rainbows right now. This is insane volume. Insane. Nothing here. Boom. And then people start getting on board. A lot of people are bored with Crypto Chop, and they're jumping in on this as well. A lot of guys in the Discord made a lot of money on this already, chasing this, but I think what someone was saying is, numbers-wise, if Roaring Kitty can get GameStop to hit, I think, $75, he will have $1 billion in profit. Whether or not he can actually get out of that position, that size, that large, I have no idea. But it's going to melt down a lot of stuff in Wall Street, which is going to be really interesting. And if you notice, today closed at $46. Let's check after hours. After hours is a bit different. After hours, as of right now, is $62. So he's almost to $1 billion in profit. And yeah, this is going to be insane. I'm sure Gensler and Gary and them, or Gary and SEC regulatory is going to have a big, great investigation in this. But the dude went balls deep into a position, and he's winning. So cool stuff. They kind of stuck it to some Wall Street whales back in the day, and now they're back. So it's kind of interesting to see it. But moving on to Bitcoin, what you guys are really here for crypto, right? Not the memes, not the jokes, but one thing I'd like to point out, if you haven't noticed, the totals have been pretty insane. Today, we've actually got a lot of selling, but so far, we've been on a really, really crazy run. To keep this in mind, there's only 450 Bitcoin mined per day, and there's something like, I think on average, 2,500 Bitcoin are being consumed like on average or so by these ETFs. So like 5 times what's being mined daily. So everything is getting absolutely vacuumed up into this stuff. And a majority of these, not all of them, but most of them, it's just going straight to Coinbase Prime, which is like a premier custodial stuff like for commercial. And it's just going into cold storage. So it's going to get real interesting. A lot of people are trying to overthink this stuff. But I can tell you, you can look at the charts, be confused. Buying is bullish, no matter how you spin it. And eventually sellers are going to exhaust. So, anywho. Hotpin says, apparently he's lawyered up big time for this. I hope so. Why not? Like, dude, let's, I hope it makes it to court. I hope it makes it to a court where they actually get to film it. But a brief update on the ETFs, like Grayscale has even been like inflowing the past few days. Hash rate continues to kind of go sideways. It's been choppy. It kind of went back up, but it's kind of dropped back down. It's kind of something I always want to watch on. It's this data is really, really slow. The way they kind of calculate the hash rates, they check it like once a day is kind of how these charts update. But I still want to keep an eye on this, because if the miners just start capitulating and turning machines off and the hash rate drops, Bitcoin pretty much backs off pretty fast, and we'll follow it down. So it's kind of interesting. Another thing I saw posted was the Bitcoin miners are holdings has actually plunged 50%, reaching their lowest level in over 14 years. So maybe a lot of the ETF flow is coming directly from the miners selling and moving up to higher levels of equipment due to the strain from the halvening. As soon as you have the halvening, we went from 900 Bitcoin a day to 450. It put a really big load on the what's profitable versus what's not profitable. So a lot of machines got turned off online and they had to buy newer equipment. So is what it is, but it's something they have to do. So moving back to the actual charts, this is the same schematic we've been talking about for a long time. We've been calling for this to be a creek. Creek took a little bit longer than we expected, but it did finally jump it, and now we're moving back up. This is the local H4 resistance from the Rainbow Trends algos for the pivots, and then this middle band is the all-time high from the previous cycle. We could really make this like a different color, just so it's not as confusing. Typically, what we do with these tools is mark our support, mark our resistance, and then we kind of watch what the other pivots kind of do. But directly into the middle of this is the old all-time highs back when we were like in the 60s. It's hard to see this on H4, but it's referring back to these old prints. Those are still in play for the most part. They are in play, and it's been the resistance because we've been hanging here for a very, very long time. So that's the chart, and we got it. And now we're coming back up because regardless of what happens, this is still like the new all-time high order block on the H4. So this is our BTC halvening date. This is the Ethereum ETF deadline. I know this is a Bitcoin chart, but that's a really, really important date. And we got approval, which was crazy and awesome. So Ethereum ETFs are not online yet, but they will be. I've heard as soon as next month. Whether or not that happens, we'll see. The Bitcoin ETFs went online real fast. Within a day or two, I believe. The Ethereum ones are not like that, but they're filling out their forms and etc. But we'll focus on Bitcoin for now. This is the chart that I've been looking at. You know me, I'm not crazy about Wyckoff charts being exact. People want to argue, hey, this is a millimeter lower than this. I don't really care. I trade rainbows for F's sakes. The big thing is, though, when we trade rainbow trend stuff, you can get an idea where these support and these resistances are, and you can peg these reactions, which are very, very important. So you can define support, and you can kind of get in the moment of knowing where a creek is. Most people can't spot a creek until after it happens. Most people can't even spot these until after the fact. And then they'll post all over Twitter these hindsight charts of how it was Wyckoff, accumulation or distribution, whatever, and you should feel should feel dumb that you didn't catch it. Well, they didn't catch it either. So don't ever let those people tell you nothing. It's really, really hard to catch this in the moment. So, but the thing is you study it, you get better at it, and you can eventually start saying like, hey, I think I'm here. So if I think I'm here, I'm going to start looking for the next steps. And that's what we're looking for. This started to look like a creek to me. I posted the tweet saying, hey, everybody's calling this a top. This is a creek. This is reaccumulation. This is not a bottom to me. And lo and behold, we've jumped this creek. And since this bottom support resistance, we've actually come up 18% on Bitcoin. I believe my last entry on Bitcoin was right around here. It was in this lower band. I got it right before the creek jump. And I'm just, whatever. I'm in hold mode right now. But regardless, the next thing we're looking for, this is just me doing squiggles. We want to see this. It looks a lot of times, it looks differently. It's always going to be different regardless. But this sign of strength is really what we want to see. Because eventually you can see these reactions. Like these pivots, they're automated. It's a advanced algo, long story short. But you can see that they react to them. And they reject them. It has not wanted to bust into this order block. This order block is full of sellers, and they blip it, and it comes down. Well, now we're coming back up, and it's got to kind of cut through this. There's a lot of sellers here that want to get out, no matter what you do. I think today, I was posting it earlier. It was the trading light data. 73,000 has got a pretty solid wall. If you guys give me a second, I can actually pull up Okotoki real quick. So shout out Okotoki because they've got a really cool order book. Yeah, here we go. And TV stream. There you go. So Okotoki here. So if we go up to, yeah, so right around 72,000, there's on Binance, which is the order book I like to watch the most. They've got like 500 Bitcoin at 72, and then 70. It won't let me go all the way up, but Trading Light did. But anyway, you can see that there are stacked pretty heavily bids here that they're trying to get through. So this is not going to be easy. Breaking through 73, your bulls are going to have to eat through these bears and then break through. This is really, really hard. Bouncing from here to the mid-range, super easy. Moving up through this order block, and that's why it's red. You can see all these pivots stacked here. It's going to be hard to do this. But it's what we want to see. So if it happens, they're going to chug through this, eat through it. They'll probably wick above it, come back, and then do a retest, and then go. So this is kind of what we want to see. Regardless, what we want to see is candles closing above this order block. And then you want to see the ETF flows go ape. And then if we get that, we can get the launch pad up to the next leg up to wherever this goes. Frankly, we've come all the way from like $16,000, whatever it was on the FTX collapse. Shout out FTX and Alameda. Awful people. I don't know really where this goes. If we're already like 72, 100 is not that far off, in all honesty. Let me just figure out the percentages. You want to see Fidelity turn on the afterburners above this all-time high, things are going to get real stupid real fast, in my opinion. 40%, that's a big move, but it's not out of the question. Sonia, what's your pivot setting on that chart? Good question, Pins. These are defaults. I don't really mess with the pivot settings, except it's wrong. My bad. We're good. 0 is what I normally run. The only thing you'll see me like do differently on the pivots is you'll see me draw the older pivots out further. So you'll see that these are manually drawn. It's because I can only draw these so far in TradingView before they stop. You see how these stop? If I force it to print any further, it locks up the program. It's just a limit for the drawing. So typically, like, if I'm going back and I'm like looking at like points of interest, you can see that these are the dailies. I have manually drawn the dailies further out, but that's the all-time high pivots that I really care about. And that's my block. That's my orange block. which is the center of this range here. We drop back down to 4 hour. A lot of people are missing this. A lot of people are catching the support kind of here. Albeit that deviation scared the hell out of them, but the whale showed up. See the whale print? And they're catching this top order block, but what they're missing is that all-time highs, the 2 peaks, this is that order block there, and that's really been a point of contention. Price is naturally jumping back into this order block and chopping. But now we're starting to move up. We want to see our move up and out. And shout out Damon Bradshaw. This is like one of my favorite motocross pictures. Wherever did I just move? Yeah. This is gnarly. That's like a 50-degree, 60-degree jump in Supercross indoors. And that dude's on a 125 from like 1993. So shout out Bradshaw. That's a cool bike. That's a 250. My bad. Looks like a 125 pipe, but that's 250. Purple frame, rainbow trimmed colors all around. So anyway, are you using Cage Wins ask, are you using the default Pine script to code these? Yes. You can't really modify Pine script as far as I know. But I say that all the stuff you're seeing on the screen, it's about 10,000 lines of code. So it's pushing kind of the boundaries of what I can get away with. But anyway, that's the Bitcoin chart. That's what I'm looking at. I still am going to hold to it. It's this, not a top. Frankly, we're past the halvening. People keep wanting to talk about, hey, I want my 30% pullback. I don't think you're getting your 30% pullback to the 50s, or if you want to call it from the bottom here, I don't think you're getting your black swan anymore below 40. Like, I don't think this is happening, bro. I really don't. I still see this. I still see a creek, and I see a creek jumped. Now, if we reject this, like if we come up in here and we can't get through it, we're not going to have a good day. The one thing we do want to see, though, you want to see strength increase on this move up. You want to see crazy volume show up. You don't want to see price come up, colors rotate, RSI rotate, and then this volume just fade out, fizzle. If the bulls are going to do the work all the way to get through it, they have to follow through and fully send it. If they don't fully send it, it's a really good tell that the rainbow theory stuff is telling you that like they're not committed and it'll reject. Let me find. There's a really good example back from the day, way back. I gotta find it though. Hold on. Bear with me. Yeah, this one. This was a really awesome range to trade. We got a great capitulation wick here, and we caught that was the bottom of like an accumulation range. And so many people got baited on this, but the dudes who trade like rainbows, they actually got ahead of it, which was so awesome. This was like the big bottom before the FTX fallout, which happened over here. But if you'll notice, the colors were strengthening and setting higher highs, and then the colors died out. So they set a higher high, and everybody set their alerts like right here. And they're like, as soon as we got wicks above here, people aped long. And I started saying, no. The volume's not there, and the colors aren't there. This is a top. It's a higher high, but it's bait. Don't fall for the bait. And we actually we were one of the group of traders that traded this in the Discord are absolute animals. But this was a really cool one too, because it was just like, hey, this is where you know, you want to trade this, go ahead. That's a higher high. People get baited, but like you turn on some colors and actually try to chase these whales, you can catch them. And also shout out the runner bot tool is just cheat mode. It was pretty cool. But anyway, the point is, this was a higher high with no volume, no follow through. The RSI got weaker, the colors got weaker, and it didn't send. It freaking retraced all the way down. And then FTX died, and that's what sent another bottom. And that's a really cool, this is what you want to see on capitulation wicks. That's the colors you want to see. Pushing into the reversion bands, whites, pinks, RSIs lit up and then bounce. And that's going to give you the bottom base case of a Wyckoff schematic. That'll be your bottom support line, and it'll automatically draw it for you. So that's the example I would reference if you want to study it. because this is what we want to not see here. So right here, it's already blues. These are kind of whites with weaker RSIs. We need some ass here. We need the bulls to really, really show up, man, and push through. And they should, in my opinion. If you print a higher high, like just on paper, if you get above this 73.8, 73.9, you say you hit 74, 75K, I think the afterburners are going to come from BlackRock and Fidelity. I honestly do. If they don't, they don't. But like, I think that's the bullish case. I think you can get attention here and then people go crazy. The truth is just kind of wait this out. If you want to protect yourself, this is a really nice area to kind of bring up your stop losses and see if we can get through this. If we can't get through this, you know, I'm wrong at some point. And either we're going to come back down here or we're going to just keep coming up and trying to get through this damn thing until they do. That's kind of really where this goes. I don't think we're going to go 70K sideways for a year, but we've gone through worse hell, so it's all right. But that's the Bitcoin Wyckoff Rainbow Theory update with also some examples of what I'm looking at. I'm real boring right now because I'm real busy in real life with Oilfield and being a dad, and kids are getting on summer school or getting out for summer. But like, I'm just waiting for this to play out. I was super vigilant on this creek and this bottom, and I've just been sitting on swing positions up until now. So I'm just kind of waiting too because I still think it's going to break through. But either way, keep your emotions in check. Try to see what the whales are doing. A lot of dudes are buying. That's all I can say. So anyway, are you using? Yeah. So I believe it's static. Looking good, man. Keep it up. Thank you, Cage. Thank you, Cage. So moving on to Ethereum, Vitalik chose war, and Vitalik actually was this week or last week. He retweeted Hansom's post from 2022, which is just awesome. ETF approved. Didn't really see it coming. We knew the date. And frankly, your guy Larry Fink is coming. And I think we need to kind of respect that because this dude's not backing down. And I wanted to point some of the stuff out. If you didn't know, BlackRock is launching the TXSE, competitor to the NYSE. They are basically going to make a Texas-based stock exchange to compete with the New York Stock Exchange. Watch what happens if the Texas Stock Exchange like runs 24/7 like crypto. That would be really interesting to see what stocks do that don't run Monday through Fridays and only during the daytime. It says they'll also create an Ethereum L2 for this exchange. SEC Commissioner Heather Pierce wants to create a sandbox for issuing, trading, and settlements of securities on a distributed ledger. Where will the sandbox run? Probably on the new TXSE. Why? Larry Fink kept talking about tokenization for the last 2 years. The exchange will become the first tokenized security exchange in the United States. The securities market is huge, built on Ethereum. So it's going to get really interesting real quick and see what these F-Maxis do. Van Eck ETF also increased their F target for 2030 to 22K. Keep that in mind. But one of the things I wanted to point out of all the hype and like what's real, what's not, what's whatever, but like BlackRock seeded their Ethereum ETF with $10 million ahead of its launch, which is not a lot of money for an ETF, or it's not a lot of money to BlackRock. And even this post only got like 3,800 views. I wanted to point something out here. BlackRock seeded the Ethereum ETF with 10 million. BlackRock seeded the Bitcoin ETF with 100,000. So they're gung ho. There's no other way to say it. That's really, really bullish news. We got the ETH ETF, and like BlackRock is going real heavy on it. With that being said, this is an absolute BART setup on the H4. Every single thing I've got that talks about how to trade BARTs is lighting up right now on Ethereum. And as bullish as you can tell I am on Ethereum, this is bothering the living hell out of me. And I see it and I can't unsee it. So we had our God candle. We went from like 3,000 up to 3,900, almost broke 4,000. Our colors rotated from pink back to green, so we're bleeding to green. We've formed the hairline for a BART. Right? It's there. Can't unsee it. I'm a great artist. The RSI has rolled over. We have an RSI top. We have a runner bot top on the H4. And the HMA, the whole moving average, has karate chopped through the hairline. So I don't have another thing. And they also bounced into the reversion bands here, these green bands here. I don't have another thing to tell you that this is a BART. Like, that's XYZ every single step of the way. This is a freaking BART setup. And it kills me because the ETH ETF is live, approval-wise. The ETH ETF's coming in a month. BlackRock's going hard on, like, all the news. Everything is, like, lining to, hey, she's going to go north. So my gut says we go up, but my heart says that's a BART, and it is. It's like textbook BART, and it's rolling over. So, what do? We protect ourselves is the plan. We can't really lose this little smaller order block here. There's 2 pivots here on the H4. This is like 3,600. We can get a little wick below. That's fine. We saw shakeouts here when all this stuff went out. That was a really crazy shakeout. A lot of volume. But if this thing breaks down, I need you guys to not lose your lunch over this if it comes back and touches that. Now, it very well may come down and bounce off one of these other pivots. It might. Right? You've got a lot of support here. But I can tell you this. This is the magnet if things get really, really ugly. It's that. That's the order block. So we've got to be really careful here. Oh, runner, that doesn't look that bad. Well, that's 26%. That's a big drop that you don't want to eat. So be very, very careful of that. We don't want that to happen. There's just no way around it. Long story short, be happy it pumped, but maybe start talking about putting some stop losses in place or waiting. Put something in place. Or waiting, and like I said, we can just set alert. We can hop right back in if it gets above 4,000. Like, that's the other thing. We just wait. If this thing starts closing candles above 4,000, party on, Garth. Like, we can roll with that. Now, that, that's what it is. I'm bullish, but I know what the chart's telling me. The chart's telling me there's a BART setup that I need to be protective of so it won't destroy me. Because when these things break, they break hard and they start liquidating everybody else who's leveraged long, and you start getting a liquidation cascade. Now, Ethereum's probably not going to cause that on Bitcoin, but you have to keep it in mind. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the 2 heavy hitters. And with that being said too, you have to keep in mind, if Bitcoin just goes and starts printing new all-time highs, Ethereum's going to get drug up with it, kicking and screaming. Like, that's the other thing too. If Bitcoin makes the move, I would expect Ethereum to eventually follow it at some point. But moving on, checking in on the gang. How's the gang doing? This was posted this week from about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So apparently, SBF and the Mango Markets exploiter are bunk buddies at the Brooklyn jail. So if you're ever curious about what is Sam Bankman-Fried's register number, it's 37244-510. So kind of got to know what his number is, which is kind of interesting. And if you're a big Sublime fan like I am, go check out this song. I'm not going to play it so I don't get a copyright strike, but go look up 5446. That's my number. It's an old reggae song that he's playing a cover to. But when you hear him talking about 5446 was my number, he's talking about like the number on his uniform, like his inmate number. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, moving on. Top coins of the week. If you will notice, number 2 is Jasmy. If you've been any part of the Rainbow Trends Discord, you will know that our guy, Playmaker Trades, has been a Jasmine nut for God knows how many years. And shout out to Playmaker. He posted this, and I thought it was an honest but a really cool post. And he says, for the next few months, he's going to be kind of out. Had to withdraw the account to pay bills that are due. I was able to pay off 2 credit cards, though, with what was made over the past few months. Pretty amazing. I'm going to focus on future tradings now to build up an account back up and hopefully join you guys in Q4 to tear it up again. Homie killed it on Jasmine. As bad as it's been to watch this Jasmine ride, this thing has bottomed out, and it's been ripping. Absolutely ripping. And the people in the Discord, these Jasmine nuts, partially spawned by our guy Playmaker, it's been wild. It's been pumping again, and then pumping again. And the volume has been insane. Why? I don't know. I don't know the first thing about Jasmine. I just know when Jasmine things hits, I watch for Playmaker posts, and he's been posting Playmaker stuff. So regardless, you want to talk about accumulation charts and how they need to be perfect. That's not a perfect accumulation chart by any means, but I can tell you that is the accumulation range that Jasmine went through. Yes, Runner is telling you a hindsight trade here. That is a hindsight trade, but I'm telling you is like the lesson is here is like don't think that the Wyckoff schematics have to be exactly perfect or the fractals. That's not a thing. Sometimes it is, but like don't just stress about it that like, hey, that spring should be here. Well, that was really the spring, and that was the jump of a creek. So forget it and just trying to figure out what works for you. But this thing has been ripping. So shout out to the dudes. I saw some crazy, like nice size trades being won on Jasmine. Huge positions on some dudes in the Discord throwing down. But that's a 1,300% run. 1,300. So that's huge. Huge. So shout out to those guys. They've done well. It looks like it's pulling up and out. I'm not even sure what the market cap is on this thing anymore, but that's pretty awesome. But anyway, shout out to that. I thought it was pretty cool. The only Jared, I'm curious to know what you think of a realistic cycle high target would be for Solana. I don't know. I look for colors for tops. I don't look for numbers, to be honest with you. So that's really hard for me to say. The one thing when it comes to stuff like that, I really like looking at ratios in regards to Bitcoin. So the really cool rule and kind of the math that I try to teach people is XRP cannot hit $500. It's impossible. And they're like, oh man, no, yeah, it can. No, it can't. There's the market cap here. If this thing hit $500, is more than every ounce of gold that's ever been mined in the entire history. All the Tesla stock, all the Apple stock in the world, all the Nvidia stock can't support a market cap that high. So typically, what you need to realize is Bitcoin. I can't guarantee this, but I think realistically will always be the highest market cap of any crypto in the world as long as we're alive. I'm pretty much going to bet on that. If not, it's like a 99% probability, whatever, right? With that being said, all these other altcoins are only ever going to equate to a percentage of the market cap of Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin's 1.4 trillion right now, Sol, whatever it would take Sol to hit that market cap, that's really not going to happen. Even right now, it's only $500 billion for Ethereum. So, like, you know, if we're talking about, let me pull a calculator real quick. This is just impromptu question that I'm going into. So, let's say Bitcoin can hit $200,000 this market cycle high. Let's just say that's a thing, right? So that's 200,000. That we're going to say that's the price per Bitcoin at this peak of the cycle. We don't know, but it's a nice clean number that's bigger than 70,000, right? So if there's and there's going to be more Bitcoin than that by then, but we'll just go off this. 475. That would mean that basically Bitcoin would be a 4 trillion market cap if we hit 200,000. 4 trillion, right? So if we want to do 4 trillion divided by 1395017. So it's, I messed up. It's basically 2.8 times this market cap right here. So if we took Solana now where it is now, it would be 170 times 2.8 if it stayed linear in regards to its market cap in regards to Bitcoin. Assuming it actually could gain on Bitcoin, you could go higher than that. That would be possible, but like, long story short, I don't think Solana could hit like $10,000 is what I'm getting at, right? So if that math said basically if Bitcoin hits 200K, we could literally ride this up to 500. You know, if we get an alt run where the alts actually start tailing Bitcoin a little closer and like Bitcoin dominance starts going, so, you know, you could go above like 500, but you know, we already hit 265. So like this chart with log on, it doesn't look that amazing, but if you turn log off, that's the reality of the situation. That's a real high target to hit. So that would be my case if you want to do like the mental math, Jared. Like, is Solana going to hit $2,000? Probably not, unless we're talking like $500,000 Bitcoin, you know, or $1 million Bitcoin. Like, you're going to have some serious market caps to hit that. So always go back to like that coin market cap and like do that math in your head. Like go, you know, people have the post about like XRP hitting $500. Go do the math on what the market cap is of that. There's not, like, you have to start mining gold on other planets to even try to do it. So anyway, keep that in mind. Now, let's be serious. Let's be serious on some stuff. Let's move on. 63 American banks are on the brink of insolvency collapse, according to the FDIC. This kind of got a lot of headlines. It's probably a bunch of small little regional banks, so it's not like a huge deal, but it will be interesting to see if they start folding and the SEC starts taking over some more of the smaller banks and taking over their custody. It'll get interesting. Not going to lie. So, going to have to see where that goes. Is it going to shock the markets? No. The big banks that already died probably died, so not worried about that one. Another serious note, an OKX user disclosed today that hackers purchased his personal information and used AI to create fake videos. Hackers used these to change the victim's OKX password and even his two-factor authentication. More than $2 million were stolen. So stay very, very vigilant. Maybe don't even keep all your crypto on one cold storage device. Multiples is maybe better. Split up your bags. Is kind of one thing I would like to say, because if one thing goes down, you've got at least the others. You just never want to be exposed to like 100% break off. So anyway, another interesting one. Things are heating up. CBS reports that 4 Russian warships will arrive in Havana, Cuba next week, as well as nuclear subs. If you're very familiar with our guy Jarman from the Discord, he visits Cuba from time to time, so we may start a GoFundMe to send Jared down to do some reporting from the beach, Cuba, so you can see any of the Russian submarines. So anyway, if you guys don't know, we have a weekly segment for Doppelbait, where I try to bring Doppel against his will out of his statuses and lure him in to posting or reacting to some of the content. So I did it last week, and I'm going to keep this going. So this week's Doppelbait, shout out Doppel. If you don't know why he's gone right now, he's posted this back in October, the end of October, that he's going to be a dad. If you could do the math, he's likely dealing with having a baby right now. So Godspeed, Doppel. That's a scary thing. I hope the baby's healthy and I hope the baby's well. With that being said, maybe we can get a confirmation report with this amazing Doppelbait, because I'm proud to announce that Doppel's favorite Taco Bell item has been upgraded, and that Taco Bell has introduced the big Cheez-It Crunch Wrap. So not only did they make an oversized Cheez-It, they shoved it inside a Crunch Wrap, took an x-ray of it, and did a big announcement at some convention, which, to be honest, Live Moss live event earlier this year. Maybe I need to like not think about going to a crypto event, and I need to go to a Taco Bell Live Moss announcement, because that'd be awesome. And you know me, I love Taco Bell, but this just looks gross. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, maybe Doppel loves it and we can bait him out with that. Another thing, Ripple CEO Brad Gerlinghouse says he expects a spot XRP ETF in 2025. And I will tell you this, if they launch an XRP ETF, that will likely be one of the most top signals of all top signals in the world. If they actually do it, I'm going to be so skittish that like, hey, you want to play hindsight and say what news event marked the top? That would mark the top for me. That is what would mark the top for me. CEO, not CEO, just a rip. We don't need it. Like we don't need this thing. I'm not super crazy about Ripple. Last time I seriously traded it, it was above $3, which shows which cycle I was talking about because it's 50 cents now, but I'm not crazy about it. Never will be. Maybe I'll be wrong and this thing goes to $5, but truth be told, this is not a coin that's going to go to $200, $500. Like I said, you would have to go mine one of those asteroids that's got diamonds on it to even try to get the liquidity to hit this thing $500. There's just not enough money like in the human race. Like it is just not a thing. We start talking about numbers well above trillions, which I don't even know the names of them. So start talking about $5,000 trillion. Like it just gets crazy. But Ripple, all doing sad. They're fighting the SEC, so I kind of root for them there. But anyway, we're getting towards the end of the stream, so I'm gonna leave you with a positive note and a few other things before we head over to the Discord. So if you guys know me, this is a three-headed dragon here. Mr. Che swells as well with Sfu and the other one that I don't want to say his name live, but I'm a Che Maxi. That's the one I think is the most real. And he had a wholesome post before he goes back into a hiatus. Happiness is available to you right in this moment. All it takes is a reframe into gratitude. Your life is mostly good. Be grateful if you don't have cancer, if you have good health, grateful for the air you breathe, simple pleasures. And I think a lot of people need to take that into consideration. As stressed out as you are, worked up on a lot of things, life's good for the most part. So be happy. Hug your loved ones. Be happy that you're here. A lot of cool stuff's going on. But another one I wanted to do a quick shout out to is the Campai guys. You guys know these dudes. One of the only cool NFT projects I'm aware of. Most of the other NFT events are super, super cringe. But one of the coolest things about these dudes is all the utility that these actual pandas actually do. They have giveaways, you get to events, you get to parties, you get exclusive event access. But the cool one is like the panda points. So I wanted to show this because not a lot of people understand it, and I want to keep showing like the cool stuff they're raffling off. If you own a panda, you can log into their PP Dex, and you can link your wallet to it, and that it'll recognize that you own a panda, and you're able to go earn points for owning a panda, and they're able to raffle off those points. You can enter raffles for different things, and I may or may not be looking for an excuse to fly over to France to go see the Superbikes Championship, as well as also potentially going to Formula One Las Vegas. Maybe give an excuse to maybe catch an MMA event and go see Formula One in Las Vegas. So that would be like super cool. But like, you go watch a bunch of these NFT events and like it's super, super cringe. And then these dudes are like rocking UFC events in Formula One. So super, super cool. But moving on, like I said, check us out, rainbow-trends.com. Discord community links at the top. There's no paywalls in the Discord. And I'm going to go kick off the roundtable. I got to go switch computer, guys. So I'm going to be back a few minutes because I've got in-laws hanging out with me. So I got to move over to another room. But thanks for copping in. If you like this content, please like, comment, subscribe, and check us out, like I said, at rainbow-trends.com. But we're going to go over to the roundtable in the Discord, open up the mics. If you guys have any questions for me or want to talk to me or any of the other OGs who want to hang out, we're open to it. And it's all in the Discord. And like I said, we hang out and we talk stuff. And dude, I listen a lot because the alpha that's dropped in there is actually pretty damn awesome. So anyway, thanks for coming out, guys. Much love. I will talk to you guys in probably like 5 minutes. Thank you.